Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Nazir, page 14, which discusses that one of the stages of a Nazir, after, let's say, 30 days go by, that individual afterwards has to bring various offerings, and afterwards he will shave. He will cut his hair. And on this, the Talmud tells us, in the event that, for example, he makes two statements. Let's say, I'm going to be a Nazir in 20 days from now. And the second statement is, I want to be a Nazir now for 100 days. And on this, the Talmud is wondering, is he able to at least start the 100-day phase of being a Nazir, that second statement? Can he at least count that for some of the time for 20 days, and then afterwards the 30-day Nazirus, which starts at day 20, and then finally he'll make up the last 100, for the 100 days, he'll have 80 left. So this is something that's discussed over here, whether or not that's the process of how it's done. And it also discusses as far as how often he's allowed to get his hair cut. Because in order to do this process of cutting the hair, it must be enough time for the hair to be able to grow. And that is for a period of 30 days. And on this, Tosfos gives an interesting situation. He says, let's say a person says, I'm going to be a Nazir for 30 days. And then after the 20 days go by, let's say, all of a sudden bandits come, and for some reason they decide to shave his hair. So that's what they decide to do. Now, even though as a Nazir you're not supposed to do that, but it was something which is obviously completely beyond his control, so the reality is, even though he can continue to count and he only has a few days left, he practically is not allowed to finish the process of bringing the offerings and having his hair cut until 30 days after those bandits had cut his hair. Because again, in order to be able to complete the process of being a Nazir, you are supposed to have your hair cut. Either it's something which is an absolute requirement, or it's a mitzvah according to the sages, it's something you should do. But regardless, a person will have to delay because of that. So unfortunately, sometimes we see this, that because of someone else's wrongdoing, which in this case are a bunch of bandits, it can cause a major negative effect on you as well. And we know that this is the reality in life, that as much as you could say, I didn't do it, so why should I be negatively affected? But we know in reality that's not the situation. That if you are encountering an individual that causes you harm, that will have negative effects in many, many regards. And therefore, obviously, we can't help but to avoid being in the presence of criminals, to try to run away from them so that they don't cause you harm. But certainly this has come to tell us in general to distance ourselves from people that can cause us harm, because by doing so, it will cause that we will end up having more problems in the future.